activities, both in the academia as well as in the sports as well in the literature events. So my advice to all my dear students who are participating right now here and in the future events, just expand yourself. You will not come to know that what all you were capable of. And to take it further, ICPC and hackathons are just the two or more of the events. So I would hand over the baton to Dr. Prashant Nair, who will guide all of you in how to prepare yourself, how to proceed further, and how to win accolades, not only for the department, but also for the university by bagging good prizes in it. So thank you, Prashant Nair, sir, for joining us, and over to you.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Dr. Rahul Johari, and the office bearers of the ACM student branch at GGISP University, Gaurav, Vishesh, Shubham, Harsh, Anuj, Chaitan, and Sushant, and Parth also is here. So, very happy to be part of your student branch. In fact, even though I've been giving a lot of hackathons, wanted to share with you that this is the first webinar as an ACM eminent speaker. That I just got that title a couple of weeks back. So this is very special, and it's the
Wow, that's great.
first.
That's great.
Yeah, I mean,
So we are happy to
I'm
host you as a ACM eminent speaker.
yeah, yeah. This is the first one. There is
Great.
another talk after an hour, but this is definitely the first talk, and it will be very special for me. And I understand. I did a little of homework. I found out that you guys are doing a lot of work. In fact. Professor Rahul is doing very cutting edge research. I wish I could do as much research. I focus a lot on student innovation, student activities. I do not do any funded projects as of now. I used to do, but then anyway, it's really great that you have a good mentor to guide you. So basically, my talk is little unstructured in the sense that it's just a sharing of experiences. God has been very kind with me that I have been able to interact with a lot of very, very excited and motivated students and so on. Actually, I just wanted to share in a different vein. This is the time. This Jan Feb is the most busiest time of the year for me in the last decade. The reason is around February end we have between February middle to end we have our tech fest called Anoka. In South, it is one of the best tech fests with the overall budget of 1 crore. And somebody was asking me, how do you feel? What you are missing? Is it the technical grandeur, or is the competition, the workshop, the concert by some? I mean, we had wonderful singers, very popular playback singers who have sung great songs. And what do you miss? Then I said, I miss sitting with my students at 1 a.m. or 2 a.m. and drinking the black tea, that process. So what I want to stress on it, it's not only the end, it is not the end goal. The process, I would think, is extremely important. And that's what I wanted to stress on today's session, where I can give you some tips. These tips worked for me, and especially for hackathons, they've been very successful. As far as ICPC is concerned, I understand all of you are computing folks. We have been organizing ICPC for almost more than a decade, but we are yet to see an Indian team, acing this ICPC. True, Indian teams are doing well. They are climbing up the ladder, but we are yet to see, almost after 30, 40 years, no Indian team has aced. I sincerely hope that some Indian team is able to ace this ICPC, and I'll probably also share why I feel it's not happened. So let me just share my slides. Is my slide visible? Is my slide
Not
visible?
yet, not yet, not yet.
No,
Yeah,
it's
now it is getting visible.
is it visible now?
Yeah, yeah, sure, sure. Please. Good.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, this is just a picture of our university campus in Coimbatore. Anyway, so as
Looks
mentioned,
impressive, no doubt. Looks impressive.
yeah,
Nice campus.
yeah. Today, just happy to share what I'm going to do today is just share some of the experiences of hackathons of the last 4 5 years. We've been, as I told you, God has been very kind to me. I've been able to guide a lot of good students. Rather, I've been very fortunate that they have come to me many a time, and we have been able to do exceedingly well. Last 3 4 years, we have got more than 50 plus hackathon victories, which includes very popular events like the Smart India Hackathon, the Rajasthan Hackathon, TCS Nginx Digital Twin Challenge. That's an IoT based competition. Perhaps it's the highest prize money in India. I think they give more than 6 or 7 lakhs as prize money to the winners. This is a IoT based competition run by TCS. We have gone international. We have won hackathons in Indonesia, in Singapore. We have done very well in an Australian hackathon in the top five. So almost 50 to 60 hackathon victories we have been able to do. And if we have not won the hackathon, we have come in the top two, top three, runner up, and that kind of. I've captured everything. But I would think that the crowning glory was when we were able to represent India in 2018 as part of the national hackathon team. So, Ministry of Education, that time it was called Ministry of Human Resource Development, had sent 20 of the best hackathon teams in India for representing the country for the Singapore India Hackathon. And we came in the top five. There were 40 teams, 20 teams from Singapore and 20 teams from India. And interestingly, in the 20 teams from Singapore, most of them were Desis. They were Indians, Indian born or Indian expatriates or Indian students in those teams. And the crown glory was that we came in the top five. We just missed becoming third by a whisker. But anyways, we were very happy that we were felicitated by none other than our honorable Prime Minister, who was there as part of the ASEAN India Summit. He made it a point. He was supposed to come and give the prizes in the university, but he couldn't come. But we went to his hotel and he had a nice session with us, took a picture with us. He congratulated all of us and inspired us a lot. So this journey continues. The teams have changed, the students have changed, but the journey continues. And however busy I am, I try to focus some time every week, to trying to help my teams do very well. And I wanted to tell you one more thing. Professor Rahul Johri was telling you how you get accolades for your department, for your college, for your university. You cannot imagine the kind of accolades that one gets through these participation, because all the employers, whether it's the top dream companies like LinkedIn or Facebook or Twitter, they are looking for people who, in Hindi we say, zara hatke se. They are looking for those kind of people who with competence to be problem solvers. And we are seeing that the guys, the folks who ace the ICPC, the guys who win hackathons, they get the best dream jobs. Now, I can tell you my own experience. So here you'll see the picture of the team that came with me to Singapore for the Singapore India Hackathon, representing the country. All four of us, them, are there was a lot of talk. Why don't you guys set up a startup? I mean, idea was not bad. I have the option to take a break from the university and stuff like that. But today, if you see where all four of them are, it's really amazing. One of the students went on a fellowship to University of Southern California. Now, fellowship means that only 10 students in India have got that fellowship. He came back from Los Angeles. Now he is going to Stanford University. He's already got admission in Stanford. Because of the pandemic, he did not go. He graduated only in 2019. The other three, one of them is in Microsoft. He's got a dream job. I think his salary is close to 40 lakhs per annum. Imagine a guy of 21 years old, he's now probably 22. He's getting a salary of 40 lakhs now. You can imagine the competence he had. And he was not a topper. he was a CGPA was probably 8.5 or 9, maybe 9, I don't know. No, it was not 9, it was 8.6 or 8.7. He was not a first rank guy. Probably he was in the top 10% or so. He's now in Microsoft, got the highest pay package. The other two are in top notch startups. Each of them are getting more than what I earn in a year. Both of them are getting like 20 to 20 to 30 lakhs. So what I'm trying to say is, when you prove your competence, when you prove your mettle, when you unleash your creativity, you unleash your innovation, you unleash your teamwork, and be successful in hackathons, sky is the limit. And I have my own team. The first team that I guided to so much of glory is an example. I mean, it is arguable. Somebody told me, why couldn't you start a startup? Yes, idea was not there. I was there, but then all of them got such good, cushy jobs, and why should I kind of stand between them and their destiny? So, anyway, this journey continues. So, what I'm trying to say is, uh, these things really add your profile. You are easy fodder for the dream companies. I'm sure every computer science student thinks of a job in Amazon, Google, Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter. Why? Because they revolutionize the way we live. They revolutionize the way we conduct our lives. Just let us take a simple example. Facebook. You know, Facebook is today a community of 2.6 billion people. You love it or hate it, you cannot ignore Facebook. Facebook is the largest media company in the world, but interestingly, Facebook does not create any media. You and me create that media when we do our posting of videos, our life we post on Facebook. So innovation, that's the mantra, and you are successful in all these kind of hackathons and contests and competitions and ICPC. You are in for the top. You are in for the best jobs, the dream jobs, and so on. And I have seen it firsthand, and that's why I want to stress on that in terms of your thing. Now I'll give you some tips. These let me be very honest, they work for me, and I'm sure most of them are fairly universal, and they may work for all of you. It's just a sharing of tips. All of us know what a hackathon is. Hackathon is fun. You are building something, you are building innovate something innovative. Now many people confuse hackathon with hacking. There is absolutely nothing to do with hacking. Hacking is a criminal act where somebody is trying to look at your system vulnerabilities and try to expose or steal. That's a totally different thing. A hackathon has nothing to do with hacking. Hackathon is, you are building something innovative. You have been given some problem specifications, you have been given some vague specifications, some vague problem statements, and you have been asked to build something. And you have to use all your knowledge, you have to use apply your skills, you have to use all your knowledge, you have to figure out all the concepts, you have to get your hands dirty, and you build this solution. And when you build this solution, you're unleashing your creativity, you're unleashing your teamwork, you're unleashing your innovation. Now, very important aspect about a hackathon is something very interesting. This product that you are developing, this digital product that you are developing in a space, in a very finite amount of time. ICPC is also the same. ICPC, you do all the problems in 5 hours. So in a very finite amount of time, you are building a digital product. Most hackathons are 24, 12 hours, 24 hours, 48 hours, 72 hours. Beyond 72 hours, mostly nobody runs any hackathon. It is too grueling. And the interesting thing is, the entire product life cycle happens in 24 hours or 48 hours or 72 hours. You are making an idea, the idea is probably vaguely told to you, but then you develop that idea, you build on that idea, You conceptualize that idea, you architect the idea, you make a prototype, you execute, you get feedback, then you develop that prototype, enhance the prototype into a product, you execute it, you test it, you make it work, and not only that, you pitch it to in a very short amount of time to the judges who generally represent the stakeholders of the hacker, of the product. So the entire process happens in a very finite amount of time, and that's the beauty of a hackathon. Now, when you join a company, you may be given up, you may be part of a product, right? You may be doing a small module, but that module may have interfacing with 100 different modules, and this experience of building a product, a digital product, in a very small amount of time becomes the learning by doing, because you are doing this entire product development in a very limited amount of time. In fact, I've been trying to tell my universities that I work with, including my own, we should probably scrap several courses. Instead of a course, you give them a hackathon course. Let them figure out what they want to do. And that can be instead of an elective course, or instead of a project, the hackathon outcomes can be the grading for the course. This is something that, we should think, because it's the best way for anybody. And, as an ACM student chapter, you can think of that, and you have such a good leader in Professor Rahul Jawhari to guide you. Can you have a course based on a hackathon? You develop a product, and that product you showcase it in hackathons. You get the outcome, and based on the outcome, you kind of give the grade. So this is the such an exciting thing. Now let us see the tips for these are not rocket science. These are very simple things. These are simple, commonsensical things. I'm just trying to give you some tips. Maybe all these things, but then having said that, these are simple things that probably all of you can use. First thing, form a good team. Number one, teamwork. TEAM stands for together everybody achieves more, right? Team means together everybody achieves more. Hackathons can never be won by individual brilliance. Yes, individual brilliance is there, but you have to have complementary skills. Ideally, a team, the definition of a team itself is a group of people with complementary skills and multiple talents. So you have to have a kind of a team with multiple skills and complementary skills. Somebody is strong in data, so it all depends upon the hackathon. Suppose it is a machine learning hackathon. If somebody is very strong in algorithms, machine learning algorithms, deep learning algorithms, somebody is very good in coding, somebody is very good in pitching. You have to make your team. And let me be very clear. It is not about friendship. You may be friends with somebody, but that just accommodating a friend. Agreed, friendship, friends gel, but then the objective is to be very very you try to win the hackathon. Now what I do is I am very clear. I probably have very close 20 to 30 students. I am very clear with them. You don't like X, you don't like Y. That's none of my business. I have a hackathon, I form the best team. I pick from the pool. It's not emotional and all, oh, with him I won that hackathon. I don't go by emotion. I go with professionalism. I say, see, this is a hackathon. I want this skill set, this skill set, this skill set. You are good, he is good, she is good. Then that is how I select the team. And that common pooling really helps me a lot. There are some hackathons that are based on hardware. Obviously I need somebody who is good in IoT and sensors interfacing, otherwise I cannot win the hackathon, right? So that kind of team, first step is making a proper team who has the who have the right skill set for the hackathon. Now I again told you that very important thing about the team. The team comes first. Individual brilliance always takes a back seat with respect to the team performance. This is something I enforce day in and day out. I can my own experience. I'm just telling you. Singapore India Hackathon. Somehow we just missed the third prize by a small whisker. Students were so upset. I think it was late night. I took the phone. I called up my dean. I called up my director and said, "You talk to them." These guys were crying. How did we miss out? I forget the time. It was probably, I don't know what time it was in India. There's definitely a time difference. I just picked up the mobile and said, please talk to these guys. And, it really helped. The dean of the campus called them and said that, hey, you guys have made the university so proud. Why are you crying after representing the country? But then, see, sometimes, emotions are there. So the we have to be, as a mentor, it's my duty to mentor, to motivate them. And sometimes, things don't work, sometimes things don't work, and so on. And even now I remember what the dean told, tomorrow you guys just chill out, enjoy Singapore, shop, and come back. And that made a huge difference. So what I'm trying to say is that the first step, the homework, is making a proper team. And the team should be as per the requirement of the hackathon. It is not emotion, it is more of competition, right? Second one, identify the correct and the right contest. Contests are dime a dozen. There are hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of contests. You cannot participate in all the contests, right? You do not have the time. No student will be able to participate in all the contests. You have to attend classes, you have to attend labs, you have to attend project evaluations, viva, you have to attend placement interviews. You cannot attend. You have to prioritize your time. You have to make a proper selection. Make a clear selection. Okay, don't go for anything and everything. See the contest that you already have some experience, you have which suits your skill set. And there are multiple avenues, websites, and hackerearths.com, hackerrank.com, daretocompete.com, CodeChef, all of them run multiple contests. You just need to select the right one, and that's a very important thing. You cannot be participating in each and every contest that is available. Focus on the contest where your skill set can make a difference. That's the most important thing. Normally, the contest comes with a very vague problem statement. It's a clear problem, well written problem statement, but it is generally intentionally vague, right? They come with it. Sometimes they ask you to make a problem statement. Means they will say, smart city is the theme. Now you have to build a problem statement. In some hackathons, they give you that problem statement, but it will be a very intentionally vague one line or two line statement. Now you have to build that idea. So if they ask you to make a problem statement, make it very crisp. It should, hit the nail. It should come and convey the idea and the problem that you are wishing to solve. Now I just want to give you, like an example. To provide a solution towards minimizing the frequent navigation checks using mobile during bike or car ride. It's a very concise, crisp problem statement, very clear what we are able to do. So what I'm trying to say is that always the problem statement has to be crisp. Look at Twitter. Twitter, there is a 280 280 limit, character limit. So whatever you have to give a message, you have to give in such a small, in one line, you have to give the entire story. In fact, Trump was running entire diplomacy based on Twitter. All the diplomatic this thing, he was just putting a tweet, and it was really amazing. Rather than sharing thousands and thousands of files and all and documents, he was doing it. It's so simple. Now, when you got the problem statement or you written the problem statement, now you have to support it with an abstract. Again, the abstract should be very crisp, very small, very understandable, bullet points, have, if you ask me, don't have any text, have infographics, have statistics, have numbers, and give references. If you are building a smart helmet, that's my next presentation after an hour. One of my hackathon teams, you have to say how many people are dying due to accidents every year without helmets. With helmets, how many people are still dying? You have to have the numbers. Maybe the numbers may be municipality wise, it could be in a city, it could be in a state, it could be in a country, it could be in the entire world, but you have to have numbers and stats. And these numbers and stats, you should give very clear references where you have got these numbers from. And it's always better to put infographics and numbers and have these stats. But we have to also understand that the judge or the person who's evaluating the abstract should have a feeling that these guys mean business. These guys want to solve a problem, and there is definitely a need or a motivation for doing that. So these kind of things have to come out in an abstract or idea. In this abstract or idea submission, another thing that you can do is you can have a simple context diagram or an architecture diagram where you can mention what are the basic modules or the systems or subsystems of your product. You don't have to tell too much, but you have to give them a good idea on what you are going to develop, what kind of software, hardware, or tools you are expecting to use. These are the things that generally are necessary in an abstract or idea submission. So for any hackathon, there may be thousands and thousands of ideas. They may only take the best few ideas. They may take 100 out of 10,000 or 200 or 500 out of 50,000 and all. It's generally maybe 10, less than 10% they choose. So you need to have a very good submission that justifies why you are developing this with clear. And if you write only text, nobody has time. Let me be honest with you, nobody has time. So make it very crisp, make it very clear infographics, and you are also learning how to, put your idea in a more visual sense. So this is the next step of abstract solution. Now you have been selected, you have been asked to go for the hackathon. They are calling you on site. Generally, they call you on site. This 2020 has been an exception, obviously because of the COVID pandemic. In fact, we were slated to go to Melbourne. It didn't happen. We were slated to go to Kuala Lumpur for a hackathon. It didn't happen. All because of the COVID pandemic. Nevertheless, we did some of these things were online. Some of these things were cancelled and so on. But now you have been asked to come. You have been asked to come. You need to do all the logistics planning. If you're going abroad, you need a passport, you need to find the visa, you need to find out what kind of letters, approvals are needed. If you have been, see, many countries have different visa regulations, so you should be very clear about all those things. You should have proper documentation from the organizers which you need to submit to the visa folks and so on. You need to find out the rules and regulations of that country. Some countries have restrictions on electronics and components. You should find all those things. So assuming you have figured out all these things, if the hackathon is abroad, even domestic hackathons, sometimes you carry electronic components in your hand luggage or your check-in luggage. You never know, the same component could be used to make bombs. So you have to be very careful that way. You have to have a list of components. Ideally, take a letter from your college principal or your dean or vice chancellor saying that this bag contains the following electronic components which are meant for the student team participating in this hackathon, which is scheduled from this place to at this place from this day to that day. So it's ideal that you get a letter. So if somewhere you get checked, you can always tell him that I am taking this for this hackathon and so on. And you should also have the letter of the hackathon, which says that you have been letter or email, a printout of that. Always take that, even if they don't ask you. They may never ask you, but you should have all those things. So now you have cleared the logistics hurdle. whether it is domestic or international, you are now going into the hackathon. You have taken all the components, electronic components, IoT, sensor, devices, software, hardware, and all those things you have taken. Now, once you reach the place, many of the students I have seen, there may be a good inauguration ceremony, but these students are not interested. It's very rude. During the inauguration, they bunk the inauguration, they sit in the room to develop the product. These are all very, very rude things. See, somebody has taken a lot of interest to do a hackathon. Okay, you need to win the hackathon. I do not deny that. But they have organized an inaugural ceremony. They have invited somebody, and that person is also probably he may have some tips to give you, and so on. So it's very rude to miss out functions, social ceremonies, inaugurations. Please make it a habit to attend, because they know that you are on, somebody who is socially excluded and all, when there is a, you never know, when there is a judging, they may think, oh, these guys came, they were there for the inaugural, they really contributed, there was a party, they sang for the party. All those things help, believe me, they really, really help. Informally also, see, when you are in a hackathon, formally and informally also they are judging you. Please understand that. So do not miss any social events, do not miss inaugurations, pay attention, participate, whether it is a cultural program, a gaming or a yoga session, participate fully. And that experience is also very important for you. Now you have reached the site. There is a clear hack. They've given you the schedule: 24 hours, 48 hours, 72 hours. They have very clearly listed the milestones. The milestones are very clearly listed. This is the time that you have an inauguration. This is the time you have rest. This is the time there is a judging. All that you know. Now you plan and prioritize. If the hackathon is happening in 24 hours, please do not think that you can work for 24 hours. It is not possible. You are a human being. Too many ideas at a time is a mess. If you have 24 hours, there is a judging after 8 hours, there is another judging after 8 hours, and there is another judging after 8 hours. You know clearly when the judging is happening. Do not go to the wire, work till the wire. Do not go down the wire. Meaning, do not keep things ready after only at 8 hours you will be ready. No. The first judging is at 8 hours later, finish everything in 5 or 6 hours, and then test it, perfect it. And mind you, during that 8 hours, before the first formal judging, I am telling you, they will definitely come and do informal judge. They may come and say, some mentors will come and meet you after 4 hours. Believe me, that time also they are judging you, because likely that the same mentors will be judging you. So you cannot expect things to be ready after 8 hours. You be ready. If you know that there is a mentoring session at, say, after 3 hours, 4 hours, have the first part of the product. In fact, complete your product ideally before the first mentoring. And then when you finish it, show it to the mentors and say, I have almost completed. Please give me your suggestions. And I listen to the suggestions. Whatever they tell you, take it. And the next 3 or 4 hours, you use it for tweaking your product in such a way that you are implementing the suggestions that were given by the mentors. This adds a lot of difference. Right? And whenever you are doing this, in both informal judging and formal judging, you should be very honest, and be very honest about it, and tell that, these are the modules I have done. These are the modules I have not been able to do. Please give me some suggestions. These are the assumptions that I have taken. That is very important. I have made this assumption. Based on this assumption only, I am doing certain things. All these things you should be honest. And when the informal judging or the formal judging is happening, write down the suggestions. Please, one of you note it down. And next time you are presenting, after, say, the next 8 hours or the next 4 hours, please address these issues that the judges have told. Before you start when you start your presentation, you don't have to repeat the same story. Only if it is a different judge, right? Even if it is a different judge, put a slide. This is a suggestion given by mentor number one, judge number one. We have addressed this. This is another suggestion given by mentor number two. This we have addressed. This is a suggestion given by mentor number three. I'm sorry, we could not do it. There is no time for us to do it. It will take another 20, 30 hours to do it. So we cannot do it. We will add it in the future. And we will take this suggestion positively. This is how you have to present. I hope I'm clear about it. And this product, you always have a clear architecture diagram and all this. You always focus on the selling point. Now you are not pitching, you are only focusing on the technical details. But still, then if you have a chance, please mention why this is so good. And very, very important, be honest about your product, software, hardware, or both. That's very, very important. Be honest about it. Don't say that I have done this, I am great, and these things don't help you. Right? Be honest about it. Sir, I'm sorry, this is not working. I'm sorry, sir. It was working some time back. It is not working. We are trying to fix it. Sir, this is a feature that you have suggested, but we cannot do it in the next 10 hours from now. Hackathon gets over next tomorrow. We won't be able to complete. Rather than that, the existing features, we are going to add some new attributes to those things. This is so. Be honest about it, right? That's the best thing. The people who judge are very smart folks. They can catch whether you are lying, and and when you tell a lie. My last year I've been judging both Smart India Hackathon hardware and software. Believe me, when I find out that somebody is telling a lie, I switch off. Then whatever you tell me, he's telling a lie. When I'm convinced that he's telling a lie, there is no way on earth that I will give him a prize, even though we might be doing a great thing. See, honesty is the best policy. That's your forefathers have been telling you this. Now, other things that you can do is, make sure your hardware is clearly fabricated and software is well written with coding guidelines. If you have some documentation done, nothing like it. It may be difficult, but if one of you has got a little time, make some basic documentation, a base of basic document, and also hand it over. Let's say this is the documentation of the thing. I know it's difficult, in a very short amount of time, but if you are able to prioritize your time, you can do these things. That's what I feel. Now, once the hackathon, as I mentioned, 10,000 ideas, 100 of them may be selected, but in the final round, maybe only 10 may be selected. And this selection generally happens through focusing on novelty, completion, usefulness, whether the product is marketable, the clarity, presentation, teamwork, whether it is relevant to the hackathon, that is also important, and whether there is a business interest or a societal context. Meaning, if it is, we have a smart helmet. If I have a smart helmet, how many accidents can I reduce? That's a very big societal thing. If I have a new product, how much of business or revenue can I earn? All these things matter a lot. So once these are the things that when you are doing the first round of judging, both formal and informal, these are things that you need to think about. What is the novelty? How complete is the product? How useful the product is? Whether it is marketable, developable, whether there is presentation clarity in the team, whether it is relevant to the hackathon team, whether there is some societal or social community application, whether there is a revenue possible, and these should be conveyed to the judges when they interact with you. Please understand, this is both formal and informal. When they come for mentoring also, you should focus on these things. Don't give the PPT, but orally you can tell them. When they are going for the formal judging, do it in the PPT. So these things should be subtly there in the back of your head, and when you are mentioned. Now you are selected from the 100 teams on site. 10 of them are called for the final round, the power judging, and so on. Now it's a bigger challenge. The power judging happens, and power judging is a little different ball game. Normally, power judging focuses not only on the technical aspects but also on the product development, and whether it is marketable, whether it can be made into a startup or a patent or so on. That also is a major focus in all hackathons. That is my personal experience. So your strategy should be slightly changed for a power judging. And I want to again stress on this. Please note that judging happens round the clock, perhaps every 8 hours, both formally and informally. And many a time, I have found out that the informal judging is the most effective mode of presentation. Many students, when some mentor comes, sir, yeah, yes, sir, we are still working on it. We'll call you after some time. That's, you have lost the plot. According to me, that's my personal experience. Those informal mentoring rounds are very important. They give you very good suggestions. They'll tell you. Sometimes you may be going in a totally wrong direction. They will tell you, and they are also informally judging you, right? You don't need to put a PPT, but you can show it, sir, we have made a small video of the prototype. You want to see that? He'll be very happy rather than may you telling blah, 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 story, story, story. I would rather like to have a video, video, video. I hope you understand. Now, power judging. Power judging is a different ball game. Very, very short time period. If you ask me, my classes are all TED lectures. I don't take any class beyond 20 minutes. Luckily, because of pandemic, all the classes are 20 minutes. But even earlier, I never used to take more than 20-minute classes. Your presentation should not be more than 5 to 7 minutes. Don't tell stories. Oh, I am using neural networks. Neural network is defined as this. Convolutional neural network, this is the advantage. Don't talk all these things. Just say, sir, I am using CNN, convolutional neural networks. Why? Because for this problem statement, this is an excellent item. This is an excellent thing for this problem statement. And I chose it over the other options are I could have used support vector machines. I could have used clustering algorithm, but this is more effective. Finished. You have answered the question that he was going to ask you. I hope you understand. The judge would have asked you this question, why you chose CNN. You have already answered it when you are presenting. Make a very short, crisp presentation, 5 to 7 minutes. Avoid text, have infographics, have videos, if possible, if you can make in a limited amount of time, and so on. Now, don't think that everybody should present. Again, that breaks the flow. Have many of these project presentations. I'm sure Professor Rahul will agree with me. When they do a project presentation, okay, A will talk about introduction, B will talk about module architecture, C will talk about implementation, D will talk about testing. Not at all needed. One person can present, maybe two persons can present, the others can answer questions, right? So when too many people present, that flow is lost. It's like a sinusoidal wave. You're going in a very nice fashion. As soon as somebody else talks, that wave gets distorted. Then a new wave has to start. I always insist in all my hacks, only one person presents. Only one person. The others will answer the questions because they obviously they have contributed. And I also make it a point, the person who answers will not answer any questions. I tell them, you keep quiet now. Now the others will present. And many a time, even I as mentor also is allowed to answer questions. If none of them are able to answer, I also pitch in and say, okay, this is an issue. We are doing something like this. So these kind of things are very, very important. Very small, commonsensical things, but please understand these play a major amount of things. Please understand it's a pitch. It's not a storytelling competition, it's a pitch. Make things clear. Practice the pitch. Whoever is going to practice, I take my teams, if one person is presenting, I take them away. I take them, come with me outside. Then I sit somewhere very, very far away and ask that girl or boy to practice. Then word by word, I time the presentation. I ask as a mentor, I tell them, okay, don't use this word, use this word. So I am able to add value. In some cases, even I have done the pitch because they have told the mentor can pitch. It depends, certain times it's needed, but that's very rare. PPT should be very nice and speaking for himself, preferably pictures, infographics, and videos. I told you don't have stories. And this is just a guidance for the pitch, introduction, motivation, and need for the product. You can spend 2 minutes. Here you need to talk about the business need, the societal need, why people are you need to use this, why your product is it, what is the USP of your product. That should be covered. Then you can talk about the architecture and the technical details for 2 minutes. Then you can do the demo and functioning. Now, something is I missed out in the slide is very important. Many pitches will want you to talk about the business case. The summary here means the business case. Probably I should rename it. Summary in this slide means the business case. The business case means that what is your plan? Sir, I'm going to graduate in next fall or next June. After that, I have a startup. I have this plan. I am going to do this. I'm going to apply for a patent. I'm going to have some students, some teams, they even have a startup plan in the sense that they're going to register the startup, have a timeline, have a milestones. All these help. Many pitches don't ask you to do that, but it always helps when you put this marketable things into the pitch. The reason is uh, you are able to convince the judges that yes, we are planning to take this forward. Now, I may agree with you. Honestly speaking, it may or may not happen. That's not in our hands. There are so many factors involved, right? But at least you give you give an impression. At least you have the intent to convert it into a startup. It may or may not happen. That's a different thing. Why I'm saying is, as a judge of Smart India Hackathon, I am seeing, there are ten thousands and 10,000 good ideas. But somebody was showing me the AICT website. Barely 20 of them have become products or in patents or startups. 10,000 ideas are there. All are good ideas. See, it's not easy, to get into entrepreneurship. It takes a lot of courage. It takes a lot of, zara hatke se karna padega. That kind of thing is there. So it's not so easy, but at least give that impression that you have an idea. You may or may not do it, but you have that idea. The presenter must be very clear in what he says, have complete know-how about and know why about the product, a sharp sense of presence of mind, some humor, good communication skills, and please check your laptop. It shouldn't hang at that time. It shouldn't go into Windows updates at that point of time. Check the mic, check the laptop, check the device before the final. So these things you should do. And when you, if the in during the pitch, if somebody asks you a question you don't know, you say you don't know. Don't beat around the bush. No, no, it is like that. Don't justify which you don't know. Sir, I am sorry, I do not know about this thing. And if somebody says your product is useless, it does not have any this feature. This is an important feature. Sir, thank you so much for pointing it out. We will definitely add this feature in our next extension. Listen to the questions. Do not be in a hurry. And at the end of any pitch, thank them. They might have been, some of them might have been very rude with you, maybe, but please understand it's part of the process, right? Thanks them, say thanks to them. So thank you for your ideas. You have been harsh on us, but it is only going to help you. I don't know, my favorite television program is Shark Tank. I don't know if you have seen. It comes in Colors Infinity every Saturday, if I'm not mistaken, at 9 p.m. Shark Tank. I mean, they're brutal sometimes. They're sharks. They want to destroy you. They want to give you nothing and earn money. But then you learn from every experience, right? So say thanks to the organizers, say thanks to the judges, which everybody good luck. And these are, may you win your hack. So this is just, I think, you might have found out that this is not rocket science, this is simple things, commonsensical things. But these are things that have really helped us. Now, coming to the second part, that is the same strategies work for ICPC also, only albeit a little different. ICPC usually happens in five hours. Now, ICPC is a what is ICPC? I think you know, but it's a competitive programming event organized by the ICPC Foundation. It's competitive programming or sports programming. ICPC is considered as the Olympics of collegiate programming. Until 2017, the ACM was running it, and it was sponsored by IBM. I really do not know why now ACM and IBM have backed out. I think it was budgetary concerns that they had to come out of. That is the understanding that I got, because I have myself attended a world final in Orlando, Florida, almost 7 to 10 years back, 8 years back, and I found out that IBM, ACM, everybody is so excited about this event. Perhaps it is because of budgetary constraints that they couldn't continue the sponsorship. But one thing I knew about IBM considers ICPC to a talent hunt they conduct. Anybody who's in an ICPC World Final can just go to the IBM booth and give your resume, and 100% you can land a job in IBM. That's the kind of support IBM was giving. But they have backed out because probably because of budgetary constraints. ICPC is a very popular contest. In India, unfortunately, it has not caught on as much as it should have. But 50,000 students all over the world in 3,000 plus universities and 110 countries are the total participation of ICPC as on date. And ICPC finalists are or winners or participants are everywhere in all the top startups as founders, tech leads, project managers, developers, data scientists, cyber security specialists, and many of the dream companies like Facebook, Apple, Google, LinkedIn, Twitter look for ICPC alumni. Now, ICPC started, I think you know this part, it was also mentioned. It started in 70, but in 77, ACM made the first world final. Until 2017, it was called ACM ICPC, sponsored by IBM. But now, uh, last 3 years, IBM and ACM are not part of it, but still they do support in a very subtle way. And Baylor University has from day one they have been coordinating. Not from day one, from 1989 they have been contesting. In fact, the person who runs it, Bill Poucher, I think 3 times or 4 times he has come to our campus. Bill, we have a very good link with him. In fact, honestly, we were planning to host the ICPC in Amrita University. It's not yet happened, but we hope in the future it may happen. Now, how ICPC happens? Actually a three-tier competition. First, inside the college, the ACM chapter or the ICPC club conducts their own contest with the help of the mentor. That college level contest will pick up, say, 4 or 5 teams. It's a team of three. So the college can, ACM chapter or the student chapter or ICPC club can make a competition. There may be 100 teams, and from there you choose 4 or 5 teams. These 4 or 5 teams participate in a regional contest. That is a second level. Regional contests happen in say 70 to 80 places all over the year. And in India, I believe Amrita is one, IIT Kanpur is there, Kharagpur was there. Many, I think now there are 4 or 5 sites. At one point of time, only 1 or 2 sites were there. I believe now many sites are there. You can Google and find out. Uh, and from each regional contest, in India, as I told you, 3 or 4 are there. In the world, there are 70 or 80 regional sites. From each contest, 2 to 4 teams, 2 to 3 teams go to the world final. World final is typically 100 teams will be there. They happen in some city all over the world. In this and mostly it happens. Every country has to bid for the world finals. It happens all over the year. If I recall, the 2021 World Final is going to happen in Moscow. But Moscow was supposed to do it in 2020, but because of COVID, in 1 year it has been shifted. Anyway, we are not slated to host it till 2023. I think it is blocked. After 2024 only, we may get the chance. We have already bid for conducting the World Final. but the variety of factors. We also need to raise a huge budget, but pretty much sure at least by 2025 we will bring the ICPC World Finals to India. So, as I mentioned, three tiers. First tier is inside the college. Second tier is this regional contest. Regional contest may have 100 or 200 or 300 teams. In fact, our regional contest has 300 teams. And this is the regional winners, maybe one or two or three or four teams, and they go to the world final. This is the format of the ICPC. So this is just some pictures of our ACM ICPC Amritapuri site. Amritapuri is one campus of our university in Kerala. The site is there, but we run the same Amritapuri site is duplicated in several of our campuses. In Coimbatore campus in Tamil Nadu, Amritapuri is in Kerala. We also generally have a site in Bangalore, our other campus. So the same contest is online, and it happens physically in three places, and the whole thing is connected through a cloud. So these are just some of the posters of our this thing. Yeah, this is our regional contest director, Maheshwara Singh, and you can see us conducting this just a newspaper thing. So one thing I'm very proud about is that Amrita has been singularly responsible for ICPC to become very popular in India. Ours is the largest site of ICPC, 5,000 participants, almost 10%, and we started in 2005. That time there were only 200 participants. Now it is like 5,000. As I mentioned, three sites, but the site is called Asia Amritapuri. So we have been responsible very in India to popularize, and in India we have been in a way singularly responsible for popularizing. Why I am saying is, before we organized it, this was not an Aam Aadmi event. Only some IITs were organizing and IITs were winning or participating. After we took it over and we popularized ICPC all over India, it became a competition for the Aam Aadmi. Aam Aadmi means you and me. All colleges, all universities started participating, and we have popularized it. And this is the format: three students per team, one computer per team, 6 to 15 problems, but most contest it is 10, and it is 5 hours. And the judgment is very simple. You have to choose, you have to solve the maximum number of problems. And if two teams have solved the same amount of number of problems, they look at the time period and the execution efficacy on how to decide at the member. And the penalties are there. See, somebody may execute a program, but there is some warning and it will be added a penalty. So penalty points will decide. Suppose somebody has submitted in, say, this time, and the other person has taken more time to submit, then that again becomes a penalty. Like that. So that is a format. Now, this is my last slide, I think. How to ace ICPC? Very simple. Same strategies that I told you for hackathon, but here it is a lot to do with battle of logic, strategy, and endurance. Because it's only 5 hours. Please note, 5 hours, 10 problems or 15 problems. Three people. You have to divide your time. You have to prioritize. You have to teamwork. So it is innovation, creativity, teamwork, stamina, and knowledge of data structures and algorithms. That is the primary skill set that is needed. Your strength, your knowledge of data structures, constructs, how you are good in arc trees, heaps, stacks, queues. This is the most important criteria. Now, along with this, how good, whether machine learning algorithms, deep learning algorithms, data science, combinatorics, graph theory, number theory, crypto systems. These are secondary, but the primary is definitely data structures and algorithms, and of course, how you utilize your innovation, creativity, stamina, and teamwork. Secondary skill set is definitely machine learning, data science, combinatorics, number theory, graph theory, crypto systems. And of course, you need to have knowledge about the platform. Ideally, if you know that ICPC is using this platform, sometimes they make it secret also. They don't tell you, but then you have to look at all the platforms. Look at the CodeChef platform, the HackerRank platform, the Mooshak platform. Mushak is actually, it means mouse. But interestingly, it was not done by an Indian, a Portuguese guy. I met that guy in Orlando who developed the Mushak platform. I asked him also, how did you come up with this Indian name? So he said he had an Indian roommate who told him about Mushak, Lord Ganesha's vehicle. So this is the specific strategies in terms of the all the strategies that I told you for what is that hackathon. But then here there are some specific things, familiarity with the platforms, basic knowledge of data structures, good knowledge of good foundation in machine learning, data science, number theory, graph theory, combinatorics, crypto systems, and familiarity with the platforms, because the platforms have to play a very important role. You are giving a submission. If you don't know the platform and you make messes, you get penalties. So these are the strategies to ace the ICPC, the battle of the brains, a battle of logic, strategy, and endurance. Now, as I mentioned, we have popularized this contest all over the world. This is such an amazing event. I was told when I went for one of the world finals, who Bill only told me, Bill Poucher told me that when a Russian team won the ICPC, none other than Vladimir Putin, who's like lifetime president slash prime minister of Russia, gave them a personal audience. That's the kind of popularity. I believe even the next ICPC Moscow World Final, I gave a talk for their symposium in July last year. I was told likely that Putin may even come for that event. That's the popularity of this contest in the world. In India, of course, we have popularized it in a very big way, and now people know about it. I mean, it's great that you folks are also focusing on it, but it was not the case in 2005. So I think I rest my case. Never stop learning. All the best. Wish you all the best. I hope this presentation has been useful for you. I'll be happy to answer some questions if you have.
Thank you, sir.
Let's
Thank you
move
so
on to
much.
the next event at 11.
Yes, that was really insightful and inspiring. A few questions I can see coming in. It's regarding ICPC. So, what's your opinion on theoretical data structures and algorithm in respect to winning ICPC?
No, as I mentioned, the basic knowledge of see, it works like this. First, you need to have a proper foundation in data structures. Meaning, you need to understand the concept. What is a heap? What is a stack? What is a oct tree or OC tree or whatever? And then you need to be able to apply that data structure into the problem that is given. So that's the challenge. First, you need to have theoretical knowledge how this data structure works. Second thing is you need to translate that or apply this into the problem that they are giving you. Whether it's a towers of Hanoi or a Babel or whatever, you have to be able to know which data structure, which algorithm to apply. That is also a challenge. So that's the thing. So theoretical knowledge is there, and translating that theoretical knowledge into the program, into the problem statement. These two are important.
Thank you, sir. I hope that answers the question. Next question is in respect to hackathon, what is the importance of user interface of an software or app which you are building in respect to the functionality of the app?
See, like I mentioned in my presentation, it is very important that 1 minute. Where is the screen? Yeah. Okay, I lost the screen. Yeah, yeah, the screen got so as I mentioned, when you are doing a presentation, I told you when don't have stories, don't have text, have infographics. Same logic applies. The user interface has to be appealing. When you are making an application, you are marketing it, right? You're pitching it to a judge. The user application has to be very nicely laid out. It shouldn't be having bulky buttons, bulky things, lack of user friendliness. So it is definitely an important factor, but that probably maybe 10 or 20%, but that's needed. But it's not the only thing. See, there may be some judges who may forgive a poor UI if your concept is really amazing. See, especially hardware products, you are not manufacturing. When you are doing a demo, they may look highly bulky, very bulky, because your prototype that you're just making something now that over a period of time you can perfect it. So but it is a factor, but it need not be the only factor. What I'm trying to say is that do not compromise the functionality to improve your user interface. If I understand, I hope I have answered the question. Do not compromise the user functionality. Functionality is more important. User interface is important, but that is not the most important.
Okay, sir. Thank you so much. Next question is like, in respect to various domains coming of computer science, students generally struggle with competitive programming, data science, machine learning, web development, Android development. So,
Yeah.
can you suggest a way it can help them?
See, my strategy. I mean, I don't know. One minute. Just 1 minute. Yeah. Yeah. So, in terms of, see, all these, these are all machine learning, IoT, sensors, robotics, artificial intelligence. All these are the in things. Now it's not really computer science. Every industry is impacted by this. See, today we are living in smart world, smart education, smart healthcare, smart logistics, smart factory. In fact, my PhD research is how you can make factories smart. That's my PhD area, supply chain analytics. So these machine learning, IoT, robotics, 5G, these kind of things are the building blocks for the future. Whatever be the industry, whether you are in education, whether you are in healthcare, whether you are running a factory, whether you are in whatever be the thing, these are the engine for the future. So you have to learn. You have to focus on any one of them. I'm not saying you can't be a, see, I always say, be a jack of all trades and the master of one. I'll repeat, be a jack of all trades and the master of one. It's not that you should be the master of one and not a jack of all trades. I'm sorry, I am changing that definition to or that proverb to be a master of one and a jack of all trades. Now I'll give you a simple example. If many of you are following cricket, right? When I was in school, there were only specialist bowlers and specialist batsmen in the Indian cricket team. So I've been hooked on to cricket for over 35 years, 30 years. There were only specialist bowlers and specialist batsmen. One Kapil Dev was an oddity, was a rarity. I mean, getting one Kapil Dev, he can bat, he can bowl, and he won you that 1983 World Cup because of his individual brilliance and his leadership and teamwork and so on and so forth. Now you see today, everybody has to be a Kapil Dev. Every batsman has to bowl when the team requires. Every bowler has to be batting when the team requires. Earlier, there used to be a wicket keeper. Wicket keeper. A wicket keeper would never bat. I mean, he knows to bat. One Kiran More was there. He has scored 1 or 3 centuries in his career. One Nayan Mongia, maybe 2 centuries. Now there is no wicket keeper. Mind you, there is no wicket keeper in the Indian team. There is a batsman. That batsman can also keep wickets. So you have to be multi-skilled, multifaceted. So you need to have a working idea of many things. Be a jack of all trades and the master of one. That's how I will answer this question.
Thank you, sir. That was really helpful. In all, this session was really wonderful. If you all have any doubts, you can ask now, or we'll continue.
Thank you, Dr. Prashant, for such a wonderful talk on ICPC and hackathons. I hope many of the students will benefit from these talks. And the way you guided them was perfect. Too good, rather, actually.
Thank you. Thank you.
Some of the good takeaway from your talk was that you are right that hackathon is a wrongly placed word. Actually, hacking means refers to vulnerability assessment and penetration testing.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Here it should be more a creathon. You're creating something.
Absolutely.
So hacking, I hope around 5 or 7 years back or 10 years back, people have were searching for some word and maybe they just found the word hacking to be more lucrative, and they started calling it as a hackathon. But purely, it's a purely a creathon. You have to come up with a good creative ideas, and I think students of today's BTech and the MTech program should gel with it. They should really come up with the brilliant ideas that can help the country at a larger stage. Also, I liked about your Hatke statement. Today's students have to be different, different not only in their thought and attitude, but also in their work culture, in their performance, in almost every way. They have to think out of the box. Otherwise, they will again just become another BTech student. So that is also a good statement which I liked in your talk. Also, based on my own experience, I will say students should participate a lot in these contests because it also helps them to build their profile. Because after the completion of BTech program, many students approach us for writing the letter of recommendation if they want to pursue higher education. So if they participate in the ICPC, hackathons and other programming contests, it will also help to build their profile, which can not only help them in getting a good job in the IT industry, but also they can get a good admission in MS and PhD programs in abroad. So I think it's a good way. The students should definitely work hard and try to bring laurels to the department as well as to the university. So once again, on behalf of my university, I thank you, Dr. Prashant, for enlightening our students how to prepare for the hackathons and the ICPC. So thank you once again. May I request everyone who's present here to switch on their camera so that we can have a group photograph along with Dr. Prashant.
I request everyone to kindly please open your camera so that we can have a wonderful photograph, a memory for this session.
And we'll be keep on inviting you, Dr. Prashant. So
Yeah, absolutely. Very happy
we
to.
want you to interact with our students and guide them further also.
Sure, sure. Yes, sure.
So Gaurav, you can proceed ahead and give your thanks to sir.
Yes, I would like to invite Vishesh to do the conclusivity ceremony. Vishesh.
I think Vishesh, you're on mute.
Sorry, sir. Thank you. It was a really informative and insightful session. I would like to extend my heartfelt gratitude to Dr. Prashant sir for enlightening us with his knowledge. I hope all our doubts and blockers have been cleared and we are ready to accelerate our computing journey. I wish all the participants of ICPC and other coding competitions all the best. Coming up next is Deco Disaster, an online treasure hunt with a twist. So fasten your seatbelts and bring out the Sherlock within you. It will begin at 1 p.m. The links to register will be floated in the chat box. Once again, thank you, sir, for taking out your precious time. See you all in Deco Disaster. Wish you all a great day ahead. Happy computing.
Okay, thank you all.
Thank you all for joining. Yeah, sure.